Welcome back. Welcome back. It's your host, Delane Up, on the FanWire podcast. Hey, if you were not able to catch the matchup between the Maryland Terps and the Ohio State Buckeyes, this women's basketball game goes down as a classic in Maryland basketball history and the Big Ten history. This was a great game from beginning to end. It was electric. The score went back and forth. It it was everything that you would expect in a Big Ten game, and more, and more. So let's just jump to it. Yesterday, the Maryland Terps took on the Ohio State Buckeyes during Senior Day or Senior Night, however you want to describe it. Um, we had a great team effort. The seniors show why they were seniors. They show why they are veterans at the NCAA women's level. They they were electric. They did the thing. But again, it was a total team effort. So let's break down what occurred during the game, and then we'll also speak on some of the reactions. All right. So all right. So the scene. Let's talk about the scene. Since it was senior night. It is very important that your seniors go out the right way, especially how hard they've been working within this program, right? And to elevate themselves as basketball. It's always great to go out the right way. All right. So being a Terps fan, we've seen a lot of extreme amounts of talent that has come from this program that has transitioned to play international basketball all the way up to the WNBA. We have seen it all. But this young lady right here, this woman right here, Cheyenne Sellers. Cheyenne Sellers is amazing. She is a Swiss Army knife, and you heard that description of her game first. You heard it first here on the FanWire podcast with your host Delana. But when I say she is just all that you need in a ball player, she's dynamic, and definitely go break down what I think about her game as we go forward. Um, but to know that Cheyenne Sellers is going down in history with the Maryland Terps women's basketball program, um, it's amazing. It's amazing to see. Um, so Cheyenne Sellers, let's give you some of her bio, some of her breakdown. Um, all Big Ten first team, 2024. All Big Ten first team. Um, all Big Ten defense team. At one point, Big Ten sixth player of the year. All Big Ten freshman team. She has done it all. She has all the accolades going forward, right? But as a senior, right? Let's see here. Player of the week, Big Ten Player of the Week, your Big Ten Player of the Week honor roll. So she does it on the court. She does it in the books. She's amazing. She scored in double figures 18 of 22 games. 18 of 22 games. She does what the team needs for her or for the team to win. So whether it's scoring, defense, facilitating, she does it all. She's an amazing talent. She's an amazing talent. All right. So to see her go out as a senior in her last home game is bittersweet, but well deserved. You have etched your name in the history book for Maryland women's basketball. We salute you, we commend you, we thank you for all that you have done for the program. All right. So additionally, Cheyenne Sellers is going out as with, I believe, 1,500 points. But we'll talk about that later. All right. So let's talk more about the other thing. Because this team has about 7 seniors on the team. So coming into next year, this is going to be a major transition. Whether if players are coming in from transfer portal, coming in as freshmen, so this could definitely be a different thing. All right, so talk more about the seniors. All right, so in senior night, you also have Sarah Te-Biasu, and when I say she was instrumental in this game, instrumental. Mira McLean, Ali Cubat, Amari or Mary Dewberry, Christina Dulce, all of those women, these Maryland women's basketball players, have done an exceptional job. They have developed, and they are the heart and soul of this team. They give that leadership, that drive to never quit, and to be able to calm the soul, the minds of the entire team. So it's amazing. It's going to be amazing. It's amazing to see these women do their thing. All right. So during the game itself, Cheyenne Sellers had 21 points, 8 assists, and Cheyenne was 4-7 from the 3-point line, 5-6 from the free throw line. Oh, I'm sorry, 4-7 from the 3-point line, 5-6 from the free throw line. All these words sound like they going together. And a total of 6-11 from the field, right? So Cheyenne Sellers did her job. She facilitated, she scored. She did have more than normal turnovers. She had 9 turnovers. But they were able to, keep this thing going. All right. So Kayleen Smith had 26 points, 8 rebounds, and she had a good shooting night. She could have been a little bit better total from the field, but she made buckets when it mattered. Taking it to the rack, shooting the ball. She was determined to win. All right. Ali Cubiat, another thing, 17 points. I would have expected that she would have got more rebounds. She had 2 rebounds. But she did her job. She did her job. We didn't rebound like we normally rebound because we were without Poindexter, not Poindexter, Poppin. I'm sorry. And that was a big hit. So hopefully she'll be able to return in the upcoming games. But we will have some rest going into the Big Ten tournament. We have a double bye. But we'll talk about that later. All right. Let's see here. Murray Dewberry scored 6 points. in her final game as a Maryland Terps and her senior, as her college career comes to an end during the regular season. We expect that the Maryland Terps are going to have a deep run into March Madness and hopefully get the title. But we'll see how this goes. All right, so on the other side of the tape for the Ohio Buckeyes, Taylor Theory had 21 points. Asia Petty had 12 points along with 10 rebounds, so that was pretty tough. Cody McMahon had 18 points, and Madison Green had 12 points off the bench. So this was an amazing game. Like I said, this game went back and forth, back and forth. It was a game of runs. So the number 12 in the nation, Ohio Buckeyes, came in with a 24-5 record. They are 13-5 in the Big Ten Conference. Maryland had a higher ranking early in the season, but due to injury, they lost some games that they know they should have won, that we know they should have won. But, injury guy, the basketball guys say, hey, if you're injured, you'll be in, right? So they came into this contest with a 23-6 record, along with a 13-5 Big Ten Conference record. But even with all of the sways and score and the runs that occurred, this game actually ended up going into overtime. And in overtime, the Maryland Terps showed their will to that they would not fall to the pressure. The pressure would not bust the pipes. They were amazing. They ended up getting the win, and it came off of a last-second running three-pointer from Sarah Te-Biasu. And when I say she was lights out this entire game, like literally lights out. Sarah Te-Biasu was 3 or 4 from behind the three-point line. So she was lights out. And we think, or we know, that the team they have a shooting competition during shooting range. And during some of this competition, they do a half-court shot. And ironically, Sarah Te-Biasu was able to hit her half-court shot today. So we think that the energy that Sarah Te-Biasu had transferred over into that last second shot. She already had the energy. She knew she could do it. She just executed. So it was good to see that, especially being a senior and going out on top at home on senior day / senior. All right. One thing too about the fourth quarter, Giant Sellers, she really stepped up in that fourth quarter, right? But in overtime, it was the Kayleen Smickle show. Kayleen ended up with 16 of her 26 points in overtime. So she said in her mind, I'm going to do what it takes to win. And she displayed. So salute to you, Kayleen Smickle, for all that she did to make sure that we got that. All right. So let's talk more about the wins of this team. Let's talk more about the wins of this team. All right. So let's see. All right. So the Maryland Terps, they have 5 wins over ranked teams. So that's just great in itself. right? Additionally, we are 10-1 on the road. So that means that we can go into hostile territory and get W. We can get victory, right? And in the toughest conference in the country, the Big Ten Conference, the Maryland women's basketball team is 13-5. 13-5. So with this particular win, the Maryland women's basketball team was able to secure the number 4 seed in the Big Ten tournament. And that is something that this team desperately needs so that we can get healthy. We can get all of the treatment and rehab we need to make sure the players are ready to go and is at tip top. Right? So the Big Ten tournament game with the Maryland Terps is set to begin. That's going to be Friday, March the 7th, approximately at 2:30 p.m. Okay? So get ready, get ready, get ready. Get ready. One thing that that the Maryland women's basketball coach Brenda Freeze stated during this particular game, based on how the team performed and their gutty performance of how they pulled out this victory, these are the type of games that teams need to be able to advance in March. So during March month, because each of those games, a lot of those games will come down to winning the most possessions. Not necessarily going on a run and just blowing people out. Those occur, but the majority of the games come down to execution and winning possession. So Coach Freeze made it very clear that this type of game is what prepares you for. So I totally agree. And I'm glad that this team is battle tested so that they've already experienced defeat on games that they should have won, so that they can be mentally prepared for the ups and downs of the Big Ten tournament and ups and downs of March Madness, so that they can persevere and go further and potentially win it all. All right. So let's see here. Let's talk about. We got some things to talk about. All right. Let's get the thing order. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about how this Big Ten tournament is going to shape up. All right. All right. So the Big Ten tournament, as we stated, the women's basketball team from Maryland has a double bye, so they don't have to play in 2 days on March the 5th, and they don't have to play on March the 6th. All right. So got a double bye. We got all the way until Friday. This is good. This is a good thing. The teams that have double byes are the number 1 seed, USC with Juju Watkins. You got UCLA with number 2, Ohio State, who we just beat, is number 3. We should have beat them twice. So we definitely should have been arguably number 2, number 3. Actually, really and truly, if we didn't have injuries and we played the games we should have played and not beat ourselves, we could have had the number 1 seed. But you have to play the game to win. You have to execute, and injury bug has to not go against you, right? So we are in the number 4 seed, so I'm proud of the team. I'm happy that we're able to take advantage of that, and we're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep moving. All right, so And also, we do have it would be great to see USC again because we got some unfinished. All right. So let's just talk about how this can shape up of who we can possibly be matched up with on Friday. All right. So we have a game between Minnesota and Washington. That's going to kick it off on Wednesday. The winner of that game is going to go to play Oregon on Thursday. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Let me back that up. Instead of Oregon, they're going to be playing Michigan. Okay. And the winner of either Minnesota and Washington and the matchup between that winner and Michigan will potentially play Maryland. Okay. So we have a very, very strong chance of making it to play on Saturday. As long as we play our game, injury guy, the basketball guys is keeping the injury bug away. We'll be able to uh, see USC. That's what I potentially see coming out of that side of the bracket. And then, we'll see what happens on Saturday, March the 8th. That game is slated to start at 3 p.m., so it'll definitely be all eyes from coast to coast, from Cali all the way to Maryland/DC and Virginia. This DMV is going to be well represented. We're going to be really, really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. And we got a good chance to get this Big Ten tournament. Yeah, we're going to see what pops off. We're going to see what happens. And we do got some additional things to talk about here. So let's talk about what happens after the Big Ten tournament. After the Big Ten tournament, you have March Madness. You have selection Sunday. Um, Additionally, we have the first and second round of tournament. That's going to kick off on March the 21st. And guess what? The tickets are on sale. So if you're trying to go to March Madness, the tickets are on sale. Get your ticket. You don't know who we'll be matched up with, what time we're going to play, or anything like that. But just know we have sealed our chance to the dance. We've got our ticket punched. We're ready to go. It's just a matter of where we're going to be seated and who we're going to put, what time. So get your ticket. They're ready to rock. They're ready to go. So lock in. Again, this is how you go out as a senior on senior day/senior. Sarah Te-Biasu, game winner. Those are the memories that you will be able to tell young folk about, family members about, the people that you inspire about, of how to persevere, all the hard work it takes, how to walk away with victory. So salute to all of the ladies, the women's basketball team at Maryland University. Go Terps. And we'll be back at you. So don't forget, take an opportunity to share the video. This is your host, Delano, at the FanWire Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter/X, at the FanWire Podcast. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it amongst yourselves on social media. Let somebody else know what we're doing over here, because we dropping knowledge, we dropping pinpoint analysis, We giving it straight. We give how it's supposed to be. Not no fluff. We giving it to you straight. So just know that when we shoot, we score. You dig? Over here at the FanWire Podcast. And we out of here.